Hello, everyone, and welcome to Awaken to Happiness Now. I'm your host, Shefali Burns. Thank you so much for being with us today. And tonight on the show, we have with us a good friend of mine. I feel like I haven't talked to her in a while, but Glenyce Hughes is with us. And for those of you who don't know Glenyce, let me tell you a little bit about her. In 2002, Glenyce's life took a turn in a whole new direction. She went from psychiatric nurse to medium in the blink of an eye. This began her journey into infinite possibilities and creating what she always knew was possible, yet had always been told was impossible. To this day, she magically continues to make the impossible possible in her own life and the lives of those around her. When you consciously live in the space of possibilities, you create magic and miracles. A phenomenal speaker, she shares inspiring stories, gives easy-to-use tools and techniques to invite the audience to go beyond what they believe impossible into the space of infinite possibilities. Glenyce's inspiring work has been featured on Canadian television morning show, Newcap, Around the Region TV, various radio programs, and she writes regularly for various magazines. She's also a radio host on Voice America for the program Living in the Magic of Possibilities every Thursday. She just finished her show, the episode for today. So she may be a little bit tired out, but I think she's okay. Yeah, she can still talk and laugh. It's going to be fun. An influential author, she has published her own mini book, Live Beyond Your Wildest Dreams, and has a chapter in Prose of Wisdom, 30 Inspirational Ideas to Live Your Best Life, alongside best-selling authors such as Jack Canfield and Marcy Shimoff. Her most recent book about her journey into mediumship, Tell Her I Love Her, will be releasing soon in 2014. And a true luminary, Glenyce has inspired thousands around the world through her writing, speaking events, classes, telecalls, groups, and individual sessions. And today what we're going to be talking about with Glenyce is about the 3 magic tricks to create more money than you ever knew possible. Than you never knew possible. Anyway, you know what I mean. 3 magic tricks to create more money. So we're going to be talking about what magic really is, what money really is, and how to use these 3 magic tricks to create money. So, Glenyce, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much. And you know what, the more I talk throughout the day, the more shows I do, the more energized I get. So I am not tired.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, and Glenyce will be taking live callers' questions, so because we are on Google Hangout as well, or I am, then you can also submit questions on the Hangout, or you can call in, which is *2 to raise your hand, or you can submit a question on the Q&A. So tonight is going to be a fun call, lots of energy, and we're going to be talking about something fun, creating money. Last night's call was a bit heavy, Glenyce. You should have been there. It was heavy but powerful. It was good. It was a great call, just very powerful and emotional and vulnerable. And man, I cried on the call. So let me tell you, today there's no crying that's going on. It's going to be just about having fun and finding fun ways to create more money in our lives. Because, you know, who doesn't want to have a little bit more, right? So can you talk a little bit about that, Glenyce?
Absolutely. You know, a lot of times people are like, why do you do so much about money? Like, well, are you greedy? Like, what's going on? And really, you know, money is one of the very few ways we'll receive on this planet. And so, you know, the more that I talk about money, the more that I talk about giving tools and in terms of ways to create it and ways to receive it and how to play with it and how to magic tricks with it, the more that people are actually willing to receive. And that's really what my target is let's all just be more willing to receive whatever that is, whether it's money, whether it's kindness, whether it's whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's just all get more into receiving and into being instead of the barriers up and the walls and the harshness and all of that we seem to create in this reality. So tonight we're going to talk about 3 different magic tricks. And, you know, one of the questions that I get asked a lot about is magic. Is like, what is magic? And really, magic is the ability to be whatever is required to change anything. So you can have a magic wand, absolutely.
That'd be nice.
You know, like Merlin, the magician, and all of that. And what if it's more about a being? What if it's more about more about being everything that you can be and you being the magic wand instead of it having to be external. So magic really is just the willingness to be whatever is required to change anything. And I have a story to share about that, Shefali, because it's one that really opened my eyes, and it was probably a year and a half ago, and I was driving in really bad conditions in the winter, so it was glare ice and a snowstorm at the same time. It was just ridiculous. And I was driving along, and there was a snow plow in front of me, but I wasn't aware of it until it was a little bit too late, so I had to hit my brakes. Well, I didn't have to, but that was really the only way. So I hit my brakes, which, because I was on ice, put me into a bit of a spin. And so as I'm spinning, and I psychically, like in my head, I saw that I was going to roll. And in that moment, it was the first time I really ever experienced that we have infinite possibilities. Nothing is set in stone. So yes, I psychically saw one of the possibilities, and in that second that I saw it, I demanded no. That I was not going to roll, no. And I had such a potency, Shefali, that it was like I screamed at my car. If anybody would have been with me, they probably would have wet their pants. I was so potent and just like, stay on the road. And I just told her, stay on the road, stay on the road, stay on the road. And in the moment that I did that, my car stayed on the road. Like the spinning, everything just stopped, and I just was straight on the road, and I was just traveling along like I was before I hit my brakes. And it was like really just the willingness to be that, and be that energy of the demand of me and of my car to be different than what the one possibility was. And for me, that was such a creation of magic from the place of, I didn't even know I could do that. You know, there was a time where I believed that if I saw psychically that I was going to roll, that I saw it because that was going to happen. Like that was the only way there was going, that's all it was going to be. Instead of, actually, I can change it. You know, each of us can change whatever it is we'd like different if we're willing to demand it of us and willing to do whatever it takes. In that case, it was yell at my car. You know, just whatever it is that's required to be that magic. So for anybody listening that's not familiar with Access Consciousness, that's where these tools come from. Please go to accessconsciousness.com. I'm also going to use the clearing statement tonight, so if it sounds funny to you, you haven't heard it before, please go to theclearingstatement.com. But everywhere you're not willing to be whatever is required to change anything in your life that you'd like to change, will you destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes, I'll say yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, podpoc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And you can ask every day. You can be like, hey, universe, show me the magic that I'm truly capable of being. And when we ask a question, the universe will deliver. It's just often we're asking questions that we don't want the universe to deliver. So we might be saying, why do I always get sick in the summer? Why is money always so tight? Universe will show you that too. But if you ask questions you'd actually like responses from, that might be one. If you'd like to see more of your magic, more of your capacities as a magician, universe, show me the magic that I'm truly capable of being.
Oh, I like that.
Isn't that yummy?
I like it, yes, absolutely. I wrote it down so that I would remember it. I like that one. So this brings up a question for me, right? Because I'm thinking, okay, I'm willing. I always say I'm willing. I'm always willing to receive. I'm always willing to be all that I can be, you know, the totality of me. And there's still some things in my life that are not working, but I'm willing and I'm open. So is it because I'm still not asking enough questions or the right questions or any questions?
So to be, did you say to be the totality that you be?
Yeah, you know, so just to be the all of me that will receive anything or be anything, you know, like without any limitation, right?
Okay, so are you asking that, like, how do you know you're not creating that?
Well, because I'm not receiving everything that I want in my life. So obviously I'm I'm not being the totality of me, because if I was the all of the magic of me, the totality of me, I would be able to create and receive whatever I wanted, right?
It just seems like there might be some conclusion in that, Shefali.
Yes, yeah, and as I was saying this, I was kind of like playing devil's advocate, because what if other people are thinking the same thing, right? Because, but yeah, I always, no, not always, I sometimes tend to go into conclusion, but I think a lot of people go into conclusion.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so first off, for everybody and yourself, all of the decisions, judgments, conclusions, and computations that you have made about what your life would be like if you were choosing greater, if you were choosing outside of your limitations, if you were choosing to be the totality of you, we just destroy and uncreate all of that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I need to run
Right,
that.
wrong, good, bad, all 9 podpoc, shorts, boys, and beyonds, because otherwise you have to be in constant judgment of you.
I am in constant judgment of me, in constant judgment of me and my life and living. I am.
Yeah, yeah, and can you see how that could never create change no matter what question you asked?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and I'm yawning, so it's like, okay, good, that's good. Clearing.
So what's the value to you of Shefali of being in constant judgment of you? What does that do for you?
Keeps me in control of what's happening. I'm a control freak.
Right, and yeah, and most of us are, absolutely.
And I want things to happen on my terms, that you know, the way I want, and in my pace and space, instead of, you know, chaos.
Right. So are you willing to create from chaos?
I do create from chaos.
Yeah. But I don't mean physical chaos. I mean from just allowing, like, letting go of control and being in that space of infinite possibilities instead of infinite control.
I might as well, because so far the other way hasn't worked, right?
There you go. There you go. And so, yeah, for you and all the listeners that go through that, and really look at that, is that actually control, or is that more of what you don't want? So everything that is, will you guys all destroy and uncreate at all times a godzillion?
Yes. Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, podpoc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. I was just saying on my radio show how, you know, we talk in Access about how it never shows up the way that we expect it to when we start asking. So if you have those expectations of how it has to show up, otherwise you're failing, or you're not asking the right questions, or you're too stupid, or whatever judgment you or the listeners may have of themselves, then you really limit what's actually possible.
Yeah.
So everywhere you'd rather hang on to control than live in the space of infinite possibilities. Will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes. Oh my God, can you say it again? Because I missed it. I said yes, and then I lost it, Glenyce. Oh my God, can you repeat it?
You've got to be kidding, right?
I know. It's like, I don't know what I said. It's like, you just said it like 1 second ago, and like, how could I have missed it? Something about control.
That's hilarious. Was it something like, you know, everywhere you'd rather live in control than in the space of infinite possibilities?
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Is that okay? Good.
Uncanny.
It doesn't allow that. Will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes. Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, podpoc, shorts, boys, and beyond. Yeah, I usually just kind of steep to the energy, so I don't usually retain what I say, so that's awesome.
But, you know, I just want to tell the listeners, too, I'm not crazy, okay, guys? But sometimes when you hear a clearing and then it totally goes out of your head, it's because you really need it. You know, you really resonate with it, and you know, and then that's why it's like, I didn't catch it. You know, I got it, I said yes, and then I lost it. It's like, what was it? Because it's something that really I need.
And that's a great explanation, Shefali. So yeah, listeners, please know that if you suddenly start, playing on Facebook and are totally distracted by Shefali and I's talk, or you're annoyed with it, or you don't remember what we just said, it's possible that it has your number. There's an energy there that's required, and there's a bit of resistance on your part, so that you forget it easily, or that you get distracted easily. And it's not wrong. It's just sometimes funny. I usually just laugh at myself at this point when I find myself doing that. It's like, oh, that's an interesting choice I'm making. I say I want change, but then I'm avoiding it. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yes, interesting is right. Whew, wow. And I'm yawning and I'm getting hot, and it's like, wow, okay, the energy is really moving here for me, So it's like, no surprise. Yes. Okay, so Glenyce, so what are the 3 magic tricks? There's 3 magic tricks.
Well, let's talk about money for just a moment before we go to the magic tricks. Mm-hmm. So first off, all of the definitions that you guys have about money, will you destroy and uncreate all those times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. My interesting point of view about money is that it's paper or coins. Mm-hmm. There's nothing more attached to it other than that. And we do require it to live in this reality so far. That may change one day, but so far that's what we require. That's it. It's not the root of all evil. It's not the best thing in the world. It's not going to make me happy. It's not going to make me sad. It's none of that. It's just paper and coins. Mm-hmm. And you are the source of your money. And this is something that I really encourage you guys all to take a moment and really be with the energy of that. You are the source of your money. Your job is not the source of your money. Your business isn't. Wherever you're getting money from right now is not the source of your money. You are the source. So everywhere you're not willing to be the source of your money, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because when we have our source outside of ourselves, we actually disempower ourselves. So if you say that the source of your money is your employer, you're giving your power over to your employer. Right. And if all of a sudden you got fired or laid off, you could crumble easily because you've lost your source for your money. Mm-hmm. When that is not your source, you are your source. It's the same as you're your source for happiness, you're your source for joy, you're your source for everything. It's you. So you're your source for money. And then the other part about money, before we talk about the magic tricks, is a lot of people are really, really good at wanting money. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are really, really, really good at spending money. A lot of people are really, really good at generating money and making money. But very few people are willing to have money. Mm. Mm. And anywhere you're not willing to have money, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And having money, and this is a tool, this actually isn't one of the magic tricks, but could easily be one, the tool that Access talks about in so many financial books, it's not an Access tool, it's a financial tool that many, many places talk about, is put away 10% of your income. Mm-hmm. Put it into a jar, put it under your pillow, put it into a separate bank account. Just start having money. Because it's such a different energy. I know for myself, I'd never had it prior to doing this exercise. I never had it. I could make a ton of it. I could spend a ton of it. I could want it. But I never really understood having it. And now I've been doing this for probably 2.5 years, putting 10% away each month. And what a difference it makes. Like, huge difference to actually have money. So it's really something that you want to look at for yourself. If you truly would like to have wealth and create wealth, having money is part of that, and you have to be willing.
All right, so then
one of the aspects that.
So that brings up a really good question. What if you are have a lot of debt? Then wouldn't it be better to pay off your debt before you start, having more saving the money?
The problem with that is when you're creating the 10%, when you're having money, it's an honoring of you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to take a year and pay off all my debt, and then I'll create that. You're basically saying to the universe, I'm going to come last for the next year, like I have for all the other years before that.
Yeah. I get it. Mm-hmm.
And likely you won't actually. So for some people, maybe 10% is too much, maybe only 1%, but at least start somewhere and be willing to have it outside of your comfort zone. Remember, you're the source for your money, so you can create that. You just have to be willing to do whatever it takes, whatever that is for you. So maybe it's a part-time job. Maybe it's something different. Maybe it's asking for a raise. Maybe it's asking more questions of the universe, whatever it is. And yeah, it's not about saying it has to be 10% or you failed. Maybe it's 1%, but do something as an honoring of you.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Yep, I was just, mentioning that for those people who may have lots of debt and, think that it has to be a stuck 10% and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, no, it's great. And, like I have, an account in my bank, and just money gets transferred over there every week, and I don't even see it now, right? Because it's automatic. It just automatically every week money gets transferred over,
Cool. Good for you.
Maybe that's too easy. Maybe I should make it. Now I'm thinking maybe I should make it a little bit more, because, like you said, it's not really outside my comfort zone. So it's like, okay, maybe I should increase that amount.
Yeah, I wonder. Hey.
Maybe I should. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that's a great tool, and it, so many people have said that, and you're right. It's about honoring you. It's not for anything else. It's not for, a rainy day, have that money for a rainy day, or have that money to, save for the house. No, this is just for you to have. And believe me, when I look at my bank account and I see that large sum in my savings account, yeah, it makes me feel good. Did we lose Glenyce?
Yeah.
Oh, no, she is.
No, I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really, really is, you guys, and it's just one of those things that when we talk about money and creating more, if you're creating more, you really also would benefit from having the energy of being willing to have it. So just something I wanted to talk about. So let's talk about the magic tricks.
Absolutely. I'm curious. I am curious about these magic tricks.
So magic trick number 1, ask for what you would like. Now, you may say to me, what the hell is magic about that, Glenyce?
Yeah, I've been asking for what I would like for a while.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question here, and let's just see what comes up. Yeah,
I was just going to say, Glenyce, I'm not really good at asking. I don't ask for myself, but I'm just assuming other people do. Okay,
well, what specifically, and this is for everybody, and just, I just want you to answer out loud right away. I don't mean you, Shefali, although you're welcome to. So everybody, what specifically would you like to change in your money situation in the next 6 months?
Interesting. I have a number.
Awesome. And most people won't, Shefali. Most people will not have a response to that because they've been taught not to ask.
Okay.
We've been taught that it's greedy. We've been taught that it's bad. We've been taught to just be happy with what we're given.
Right.
So any of you that couldn't answer that specifically, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And it's not wrong if you did, and it's not wrong if you didn't. It just is, have the awareness of, quite likely you didn't even know what you'd like to change in your money situation in the next 6 months. It's likely something you have never really used your awareness or asked yourself questions or even just thought about. You've thought about how much money you don't have and how much you have spent and how wrong you are to have this debt and all of that, but really have you asked, have you been clear in what you would like? And so that's one of them. I would even recommend to you guys when you're done this tonight or when you have some free time, write down some things. What specifically would you like to change in your money situation in the next 6 months? Jot those things down. Get clear on what that is for you. And don't be afraid to ask for it.
Okay, so for example, Glenyce, so for example, let's say I'm planning to go to LA in November. So can I say, okay, it'd be nice to have, you know, more than enough money so that I can go to LA and the hotel and, you know, all that wonderful stuff. That's, can I say that one thing, or can I just say, okay, can I just have, you know, let's say $10,000 a month, you know, for example. Like, what do you mean by, you know, say that? What do you mean by making it clear?
Well, again, do you know how much it will cost you to go to LA and do that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so then that's what you ask for.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, most people don't know what it will cost them. Most people haven't sat down. They've just, you know, would like to take a trip, let's say, and they don't have a clue what it will cost them. Right. So usually they'll do the, well, I can't afford to go, but they've maybe never even checked it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or
okay.
Or they pretend that it's not going to, you know, let's say they say, oh no, it'll only be about $2,000, when really it's $8,000.
Wow, sticker shock there, big time.
Yeah. So anywhere you're not willing to be totally aware of what you would require financially, will you guys destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And yeah, sure, you can say, yeah, I would like $10,000 a month. And if you're used to making $1,000 a month, that might be a bit too much. And I don't mean a bit too much for the universe. Mm-hmm. I mean a bit too much for you being willing to receive. Because usually you can base what you've been willing to receive on what you have been creating over the past 6 months to a year.
Right. Yeah.
So a lot of times people will throw out a big number compared to what they do normally make. Now, if you normally make $9,000 and you put out $10,000, then yeah, that's totally different. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times people that are making around $1,000 will throw out $10,000 because, again, it's so beyond beyond their comfort zone that it doesn't even feel real to them.
I see. Okay. Yep. Makes sense.
Which actually takes me to the tool for this one, is to get clear on what it costs you to live each month. And this one, and including myself, a lot of people put off. I finally just did it in May.
Oh, wow.
And I have been knowing about the possibility of it, and I had kind of done it before, but I wasn't willing to have total awareness with it. Mm-hmm. So I was able to kind of like just slide numbers and to say, oh, well, it's about this and it's about that. Mm-hmm. But in May, when I sat down and really actually did it, what I did was I went through my receipts for the past, like from January, and just went through and said, okay, this is exactly what it cost me to live this month and this month and this month. I got really clear, and it was a big shock to me. I got to tell you, I did not know it cost me that much each month to live. Right. I thought those really good months were you know, it was really awesome, and the really, So how does it get any better? And once you get that number, then that's what you know what to ask for, and then beyond, because you want to get the number and then you want to add to it. So let's say it costs you $5,000 to live, and you would like to take one trip a month that's going to cost $3,000, and you would like to buy a new car, which is going to be $700 a month, and you'd like to buy a boat, and that's going to be $100, and then you can have that as what I call the dream budget, and add to it and say, okay, universe, what is it going to take for me to create this amount of money or more, as if by magic, this month? And then be in your awareness with that. And a lot of times it's a doing. You know, there are action steps to take. It doesn't have to be, but a lot of times that there are. So it might be to phone up so-and-so and see if they've got extra work, or to put up an ad for something that you've got to sell, or stuff like that, that just creates and starts generating more and more.
Interesting. So yeah, I mean, that's something I've resisted for a long time too. I'm not a very good money person, like being conscious of my money, you know, that well. I just finished my taxes for 2013 today. I just filed them, so I was like, yeah, I'm a little bit behind. So that is something I know. But I knew I was getting money back, so I knew it was okay.
Oh, you're funny.
But yeah, that's one of my my things too. It's like, yeah, if I don't have to look at it, I don't know what's going on. But then, you know, if I don't know what's going on, how can I possibly ask for more? How can I possibly ask the universe how much I really need? But shouldn't the universe know?
Oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. I can't believe you just said that, you turkey.
I know. I'm just joking. I'm just laughing. I mean, I'm just so glad I'm laughing today and not crying. So it's like, but just so you guys all know, I am the same. I'm the same. I really have been trying to do a budget or just know what my expenses are, know exactly, you know, how much money is coming in, how much money is going out, how much money I need to live every month. Yeah, that's one of my things that I need to do too. So you're not alone. You're definitely not alone.
Yeah, and it's really about the awareness. Because once you're willing to be aware of what's going out and what's coming in, and you're really willing to be present with it, that's the space you can change it. You can't change it if you're not willing to be aware of it. And again, I'm not making you wrong by any means, Shefali. I was there for a long time too. Really looking at it and just being like, okay, cool. So, you know, what's the value? So, Shefali, can I just ask you some questions on behalf of the listeners?
Sure, absolutely.
So,
I'm so used to being vulnerable on these shows. Oh yeah, ask away. You know, yeah, go ahead.
So what's the value to you of being unaware with money?
Oh, I think it's because then I won't really see how much or how little I really have, and you know, I can just live in my dream world and say, oh yeah, there's lots of money coming in. I see money in my bank. I can, you know. But then the debts also keep climbing too, so it's like, oh man. So
yeah.
And also
that is for you. You destroy and create it.
Absolutely.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all night, talk, shorts, boys, beyond. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that also. Then it puts me in that position of where I don't have to make any changes if I don't know what's going on, if I'm not aware.
Ah, right.
Right. So, you know, status quo is great, but if I see that there's really not enough money coming in, then I'm going to have to change something, you know. So does that mean, oh, give up my business and go back to work? The job. Ooh, that thought alone is scary, you know. So it's like, you know, what will I have to look at, you know, then?
Got it. Wow. So everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, beyonds. No, those are awesome, Shefali, because I'm sure there's a ton of listeners that have the same thoughts. So yeah, it's like, let's keep our head buried and not see it for what it is. When what if you could create so much more change by having the awareness?
Exactly, and make it more of a constructive and positive change instead of a destructive change. You know, because I could continue on not looking, not seeing, and then not really be able to change anything and just go into a downward spiral, right?
Exactly.
Not a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm just saying. Just saying the possibilities.
Yeah, everywhere that. Look, who are you being when you're being unaware with money?
I don't know. Oh, maybe my dad. My dad was never good with money at all. I don't think he ever knows how much money there is or isn't. He's never ever looked at the bank account, bank statement, nothing. And so he's totally oblivious. Yeah.
Wow. So everywhere you're being him, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Oh my God, yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyond. And listeners, please know that's a great question to ask yourself, because often we are mimicking people that we love or people that we spend a lot of time with or that we spend a lot of time with. You can just ask, who am I being here? And then when you have that awareness, be like, oh, that's an interesting choice. I'm just going to destroy and uncreate it.
And Glenyce, can I say I'm also who am I not trying to be? So I'm trying not to be my mom, who was always in charge of the money and, you know, had all the financial burden on her shoulders and all that stuff, you know?
Oh, goodness me, that's a great question too. Wow. Thank you, Shefali. So everywhere you're trying not to be your mom, will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Wow.
Interesting what comes up in these conversations.
It is so interesting, and it's just from the space of what else is possible. You know, there's no judgment in any of it. It's just have the awareness, and from the awareness, you can actually create the change. You can actually choose different. If you're not willing to have the awareness, then you have to be stuck in the heaviness of it, or in the lie of it, or whatever that energy is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's so cool.
And then we complain about
other questions.
Yeah, sorry, I was just gonna, and then we complain about where we're at, you know, and nothing is changing, or, you know, stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Just a couple other questions that you can kind of get people can start using to get them into the energy of asking for what you'd like. And a lot of times you'll hear us in Access use, what would it take for me to blank? So what would it take for me to have more money? What would it take for me to have $5,000 show up as if by magic? That sort of stuff. I like to change that one a little bit and have I wonder what it would be like to have $5,000, an extra $5,000 right away. And I always put as if by magic, because I just love the energy of that. I just changed the what would it take into I wonder. I just find them to be a little bit more softer and a little bit more playable in that way.
Yeah, and it's a lot lighter, you know. It's because wonder is like awe. It's like, you know, like a child state, you know. It's more joyful, I find, than what would it take. What would it take seems like something has to be done, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I wonder, so you can be in that, like I wonder, so let's say once you figure out how much it costs you to live each month, I wonder what it would be like to create that and even more as if by magic. And just play with it and just be in that space. You can also ask, what would it take for me to be vibrationally compatible with gold? Or I wonder what it would be like to be vibrationally compatible with gold, or vibrationally compatible with silver. You know, playing with just that asking. The universe will deliver. You know, I had a gal, she texted me yesterday and she said she had asked for her bank account to be 10 times more than it was at that when she asked. And she created it. In 7 days, she created it. And, I mean, it's a huge number, what she has in there now, compared to what she had. Like, I mean, it's phenomenal.
Wow.
Because she was willing to ask.
Yeah.
You know, I've never asked my bank account to do that. I've asked my bank account to do a lot of things. One of the things that I play a lot with on my radio shows and in sessions and stuff is, like, why do we have the point of view that if we take $500 out that we have to be less $500? Why don't we have it when we take $500 out, it goes up by $500?
That would be nice.
So anywhere you're not willing to be that magical, will you guys destroy and uncreate all that times a gajillion?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And another fun question is, universe, what can I generate or create that would allow me to receive more money than I never knew possible, in an easy and fun way for me?
Can you say that again?
Creates that expansiveness. Absolutely. Universe, what can I generate and create that would allow me to receive more money than I never knew possible, in a way that is easy and fun for me?
So, Glenyce, for those listeners who may be new to Access Consciousness and these questions, you know, can we talk a little bit, just for a quick second, about you know, how many times should they ask a question? You know, should they just say it once and let it and just leave it, or should they, you know, say it many times a day, or should they listen to it overnight, put it on a loop? Like, what do you think works for you the best?
You know, each one is different. I like to put things on a loop. If you have an iPhone, I don't know about any of the other phones, but on an iPhone there's an app for 99 cents called Clear Record, and you can record it once and then you can play it, but it'll continue looping until you just tell it to stop. So I like to use that and just record it once and then play it. Some of them I find, if they're really, like, I just find them really expansive, like the one we just talked about. That one I will ask in the morning a few times just to really get in the energy as opposed to just listen to it. And I often will have homework for my clients and say, okay, you need to do that one 30 times a day for 30 days. You know, it's just different for each person. And just follow what works for you, but often just once isn't enough. Because we have been so shut down from receiving that if we just ask the universe once for, you know, $5,000 by magic, it will likely not be willing to create what's required.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so say it a lot, but that doesn't mean being attached to the outcome. Like, that doesn't mean that, okay, I'm going to ask, and then if the universe doesn't give it to me, provide it, then I'm never going to ask another question again.
Absolutely, yes. And that's the really fun thing with these questions, is that you need to ask from that space of, I wonder. Not from the space of, well, I'm asking so I damn well better receive it. No, ask it from the space of, I wonder.
Right. Yeah.
I've only ever done that once, Shefali.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm just putting that out there because somebody, you know, may be wondering that, you know, how many times they should say it, you know, kind of thing. So just so you know, it's like more than once.
Yes. Great question. Thank you. So let's talk about magic trick number 2.
Sounds good. I already forgot what magic trick number 1 was. Wow, I'm so bad at this.
Ask.
Yeah.
Ask for what you would like. Magic trick number 1 is ask for what you would like. Oh boy. Magic trick number 2 is communion with everything. Communicate with everything. Everything around you has consciousness. Your money has a consciousness that you can talk to. And not even just your money. Money in general has a consciousness that you can talk to. Plants have consciousness. Hummingbirds, houses, towns, phones, your desk, a piece of paper, a workshop you've got coming up, a call like this. Your body has a consciousness. Like, everything has a consciousness. And it's around the same energy of asking, and it's also taking it further into really, have you ever asked money to come to you? Have you ever been willing to be in communion with money like you would with a best friend? And say, hey, sweetness, I'd love to see more of you. I'd love for you to come and play. Usually we're doing the opposite. Usually we're doing, oh, I hate money, it's so stupid, why do I have to deal with this stuff, and rah, rah, rah. Well, I'll tell you what, the consciousness of money does not want to play at your party, because that is not a fun party.
Right, yeah. Interesting.
So it's really asking everything to contribute to you. My show last week was on titled "Can I Have the Money Now, Please?" where I told people, go and ask it over and over. Look at the grass outside. Hey, grass, can I have the money now, please? Go to your cat or your dog. Hey, can I have the money now, please? Go to your car. Can I have the money now, please? Which will get you in the energy of asking and receiving of that, because everything is willing to contribute if you're willing to ask. The chair that you're sitting in, if it's uncomfortable, have you ever said, hey chair, what would it take for you to be the most comfortable seat that I've ever sat in? And it's like, oh yeah, I'm happy to play with that. I'm happy to be that for you. And it's like everything has a consciousness. Ask and ask and ask. It's so would love to play.
You know, I'm laughing, Glenyce, because yeah, you know, I'm one of those people who does not ask. I don't. It's something I need to create into a habit. You know, like I have to work at it to ask, you know, but practice, small things at a time, right?
That's absolutely. And you know, for me, sticky notes is what works. I started out with sticky notes everywhere to remind me to ask my computer to bring me more bookings, and to ask my phone to bring me more phone calls for clients and for speaking events. And and it just, once I had those sticky notes and it was just that constant reminder, now it's just daily. Even yesterday, it was so funny. I was my iPhone is set up with my PayPal, and it notifies me when money gets deposited in there. So I was making supper, my phone was close by, and I heard it ding as it does to let me know money was deposited. I'm like, oh, and so I was making supper, but I was also making up food to fill up my hummingbird feeders. And so I heard the ding, and I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And as I'm stirring up the sugar water, I just said to the hummingbirds, who were nowhere near me, but just said to them energetically, hey guys, I'm making this for you. Can I have the money now, please? Like, not that they owed me by any means, but it was just like that was right there in my awareness. Like, hey guys, can I have the money now, please? Within 2 minutes, ding, was more money put into the account.
Wow. I gotta get that app, man. I gotta get that app.
You do. It's so much fun, because then, and I did it again. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Can I have more money, please, hummingbirds? What would it take? And I was just playing with it. Ding again, like 3 times. It was just phenomenal, Shefali. Oh, and wow. It's like just playing with it, not making it significant. I'm telling it as a story right now to show people what's possible and what they could be asking for. But it also, I wasn't wrong or bad when it stopped. Yeah. It was just fun to play with. It was like, wow, what can we create when we're willing to commune with everything around us? Like, everything would love to gift to you if you're willing to ask it. If you would like your home to be more comfortable or more peaceful, or not, let's say you live in an apartment and you're affected by people around you, have you ever asked your walls to contribute so that just your energy is there? Whatever it is you would like. And usually, if you just pay attention to what you're complaining about, you can then just start asking opposite, because usually we're like, oh, that neighbor is so noisy, or, oh, this is happening again, or, oh, I never have money in my bank account. Have you ever asked your bank account to never go below a certain number? Or do you just complain when it does?
Wow. That's the thing. I've never thought to ask those kinds of things. I never thought to ask my bank account that. I never thought to ask my chair, what would it take to be more comfortable, because I have to sit in this chair for a couple of hours a day. But I never thought to ask that, because it seems like, they are inanimate objects and they don't communicate with us, right? But obviously.
Exactly.
What else is possible here that I haven't even considered?
Ah, yes, I love it. I love it. It just opens that door of what's actually possible, and that you can ask anything, anything. You can ask anything, anything. Everything has a consciousness. So, when you're spending money, ask it to come back to you tenfold.
And I do
ask
spend
it to come back right away as if by magic. What did you say?
And I do spend a lot.
Oh, that's funny.
I've been doing a lot of traveling this year, so yes, I've been, flying everywhere, driving everywhere, doing all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah, it's fun. It's exciting, but I never thought to ask it to come back. It's like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is great. I love it. But I never say, oh yeah, please come back tenfold. I didn't, I haven't done that. I'm so bad.
Cool. Well, yeah. So what is going to be possible now?
Exactly. I'm so bad at that, but I no judgment. Just it's like, it just is. It's like, oh man, I should be asking more, and not even, but in a playful way, in a light way, not in a, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Why didn't I ask? If I would have asked all this time, things would have been different. Not in that tone and not in that space, but in a space of wow, what could I now create if I start asking these questions? I wonder what my life will look like now if I start asking these questions, or when I start asking these questions.
I like that. When, yes. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. And hey, why don't we talk about the special package before I go on to magic trick number 3?
Sure. Yep. So if you're on the live webcast page, you can just click on speaker special offer. If you're on the phone, you can go to awakentohappinessnow.com/Glenyce4. Hold on, Glenyce. Yeah, there it is. So awakentohappinessnow.com/Glenyce4. I'm just going to open it up so that, we can talk about it. All right. Yeah. So there's the 3 magic tricks and a lot more.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm talking about these 3 magic tricks. As you can tell, I talk a lot and I have so much to say about each one that when I was looking at what was required from this call, it's like I'm going to take a telecall about each of the magic tricks and take you further with it so that you'll have extra clearing so that when you think about asking and that fear of, oh my gosh, what if I'm being greedy or what if I'm not saying it right or whatever all of that is, we can look at that, we can clear it and just be done with it. So we're going to talk about each of the magic tricks in depth. The dates, I believe, are like I think it starts August 5th and then is once a week for the 3 weeks, something like that. And of course you get the recordings if you're not able to be on there live. You get the clearings that I do on a separate audio so that you can play those while you're sleeping or just throughout your day, and then also written clearings for those that you might want to say out loud. Then we've got a wealth energy ball, which is so much fun. Basically, it's like a meditation in a sense where you work with money and with wealth, and you just bring in the energy around the universe of all the people and places and things and events and experiences that will contribute to you creating the wealth and having money and creating so much more than you never even knew was possible. And that's on an audio MP3, so you can listen to it. We'll walk you through. And then the revoke your oaths to taking on other people's pains and suffering. This is a call that I did last year, and it's really phenomenal in the sense that it will revoke them all. So you will clear them, all of them, from taking on other people's pain and suffering, which of course includes other people's money stuff. So everywhere, you know, like where Shefali was talking about her mom and her dad's stuff, and all of us have that to some degree with the limitations of what we've seen around us. So it clears all of that. So you get the download of the call and the audio clearings and the written clearing. So that's available for immediate download, as is the wealth energy ball. And then some short audios that will assist you in creating resonance with money and wealth and luxury and opulence, happiness and joy and infinite possibilities. So those ones are more of the generative, and really when you listen to them, it'll just increase your vibration to those so you can have more of that. How much fun is that? And then the body processes of demolecular manifestation and molecular demanifestation. Now this is an energy, like a body process from Access Consciousness. And basically what it does is takes you through how to do it. And energetically what it is when you demolecularly manifest and molecular demanifest, is you take out of it what isn't contributing and you put in what is. So for example, if you did that on a body that had a tumor, it would take out the tumor, or the possibility to take out the tumor, and put in whatever the body required. You can do it on water, on wine, on food, and I've found that it works great on bank accounts, on past expenditures, on credit card statements, on all of that. So it just starts changing it. Yeah, it's fabulous. So it takes you through the PDF of how to do it, and then there's for using it with food and drink and body intensity and pain and with the earth. And then you can just use it and play with it however works for you. So all of that, if you were to buy it separate, would be $1,185. And for all of you amazing listeners, we have just put it down to $97 so that all of you are really, really willing to create more money. It's affordable.
Oh, absolutely. And it's especially when, you know, like some of the tools that are in here we know work, like the wealth energy ball, for example, we know absolutely work. And I love the revoke your oaths. I don't remember seeing that before, you know, because you're right. For, you know, people like me who are sensitive and empathic and so on, you know, that's what I've been doing all my life, is taking on other people's pain and suffering and everything. And it's like, I'll take it from them, you know. Yeah, I don't need to do that anymore, you know. It's like, no.
No.
No. And I love the one about raising your vibration so that you can be in resonance with money and wealth, with happiness and joy, you know, with all of that. That's fantastic. And the body process, I didn't know you could do that with bank accounts and credit cards. Like that's cool.
Oh, I'm telling you the magic that's possible, my friend.
Yeah, what else is possible? I did not know about that. I'm so glad that I know now.
That's right. That's right.
How does it get any better? Wow. Interesting.
Cool. Cool, cool. So let's talk about magic trick number 3, which is basically what we were just talking about with the body processes, but it's like playing with the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And in Access, we do what's called energy pulls. So it's being aware of the energy that's required in the situation. So let's say that you're thinking about your finances, and you can just feel this denseness. It's like maybe like a wall or something where you're just feeling so stuck and so heavy with it. And then you can start playing with the energy of it, of, okay, what's required to change this? And a lot of times it's actually barriers down, where you're dropping your barriers, you're dropping all of those walls, all of that judgment, all of that harshness, and you're just dropping it so that you can be totally vulnerable with the situation, which involves awareness. So it's like you're just with your money situation, with your barriers down, totally willing to be aware of whatever's required. And from that place, then you can create more flow. So then maybe, kind of like the energy ball, the wealth one that we were talking about, where you could then start pulling energy from the universe into your money situation and start playing with it that way. And it just creates so much more change if you're willing to play with the energy. And it all has the same theme of magic, because you have to be willing to acknowledge your magic, to be able to play with energy like that and be able to be aware of your energy blocks. Or let's say you're sitting with your parents and they're talking about how hard money is and how tough money is to make, and that you'll never get ahead because you don't have enough money, or whatever might be being said. You can actually energetically start pulling the energy through them and through into the universe and just circling it around and just playing with it in a way to dissipate that. You can also be put them into what we call a bell jar as they're talking, and they're like, maybe it's getting really, really heavy on you, and you just put a jar over top of them energetically. Don't do it physically.
Yeah.
Just energetically, which then that's right. And then it just contains that energy so that it doesn't impact you. And you can do that on your neighbors. You can do that on your, let's say you've got a banker who's always phoning you up and telling you that you need to make some payments, or collection agency or something. You can do that. It doesn't mean they'll stop phoning you or seeing if they can, but the energy will be different because you won't get it impacted on your body. And it just is about learning how to play with energy and really utilizing, again, everything that the universe has for us to create more. And again, it comes back to awareness and being willing to be aware of what's required. You know, sometimes people hang out with people who really suck their energy and they'll feel really drained after. And so with those types of people, what you actually want to do is you want to flow universal energy from behind you and through you and into and through them, so that you're actually giving them what they're requiring. A lot of times what we do with somebody who we perceive them pulling at our energy is we put up a big barrier. So they pull harder, so then we put up a bigger barrier and they pull harder, and it just creates this really icky situation. Whereas if we just flowed them the energy that they're asking for, they'll stop pulling on it from that degree. And we don't have a limit of energy. A lot of times when we think that people who suck our energy, we get mad because we think, oh my gosh, I've only got 100%, and if they take 60, then I've only got 40. Like, no, you have no limit. So you can flow as much to them as required, and all of a sudden things will start to shift and change. And there's so much with the playing with energy part, and of course the whole wealth energy ball is all that. It just creates so much when you're willing to be that magical. But it's probably one of them that a lot of people, I don't know, resist or refuse because they don't want to acknowledge that they're that magical. But you guys, the way that your life can change when you're willing to acknowledge it and then utilize it, it creates so much more, so much more. It's just so phenomenal.
Yeah, you know, that's, you know, and one thought that came to me while you were talking about the energy pull was, are you not like invading their space by pulling energy through them? Could be totally wrong. You know what I mean? But you know how we all have our own little bubble, right? That we're basically in, you know, and you know, I don't know. I thought maybe someone's thinking it, and it's like I don't know how to explain it either. It's like, yeah.
No, it's a great question, and yeah, absolutely. If somebody isn't willing for you to do that,
yeah,
they won't allow it.
Okay, wonderful.
So
yeah,
they
so it's not
have
like I'm forcing anybody. Yeah.
That's right. They have total choice. And
Right.
so there'll be people that because sometimes on airplanes I'll kind of do it in my head first, and if it doesn't work, then maybe I'll ask them to move over or something like that. And so there are people absolutely that there's no go. Like you cannot work with them energetically at all because their barriers are so great, which is great. I mean, there's no wrongness in that.
Yeah.
But for those of us who are willing to play with that energy, then we're also willing for our energy to be played with. We also have total awareness. So yeah, if you were, you know, not you, but if somebody was like trying to manipulate somebody to jump off a bridge, then no, that's not going to be,
right.
that's not going to create more at all. And that person, again, has total choice of whether they allow that or not, whether they choose that or not. But let's just try this right now so that everybody listening can get a sense of what it's like. Because a lot of times people will think that, you know, energetically and playing energetically will make that, like you say, make that other person feel bad, or we're stepping over our boundaries or whatever. But right now, everybody, and it's more of a being, so don't get caught up in the doing, but just right now, choose to flow universal energy from behind you, through you, and into everybody listening on the call, and then through them, back through you, and just intensify that energy so that you're basically pulling their energy, pulling universal energy through their energy, through you and around, and you're just cycling it around.
Right.
Yeah, and can you perceive how much more energized you are?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I feel so much lighter and, you know, yeah, absolutely. I felt that shift.
Yeah, so yeah, and that's really the contribution that when people are pulling and playing with energy that it can be. It can create so much more for everybody if you're willing to play with it and willing to be that magical. So anywhere you're not willing to be that magical, you're not willing to acknowledge your capacities and your abilities as magical, as the magic that you truly be, will you destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And again, this one, when we do the telecall, I'll go into so much more deeper and have a handout along with it too, so people can get us kind of a step-by-step with it. But it's just really about playing and utilizing the universal energy. It's so expansive, and it so wishes to create everything that you would like to create with it. So anywhere that doesn't allow you to know that and to live from that space of the contribution that the universe is for you, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Wonderful. Well, those are the magic tricks, Miss Shefali.
And I wrote them all down so that I wouldn't look so stupid and ask you again, what was the first one? Yeah, I wrote it down. I was like, oh my God. Sometimes I swear to God, I become like so spacey. But ask for what you require, be in communion with money and everything around you, and do energy pulls. Those are the 3 magic tricks. And then, but of course, you know, Glenyce did so much processing with us on the call too that, you know, like, see, I'm spacey.
That's okay. There is no wrongness in spacey, I tell you.
No, it's all good. And you know, like some of the questions that you asked, you know, were fantastic. I loved some of the questions that you asked. I'm gonna have to go back and listen because I couldn't write them all down. But I'm gonna have to go back and listen to those questions because they so resonated with me. You know, it's like, yeah, and it's all about asking, just asking everything around us. You know, asking our bank accounts. You know, can you double? Can you triple? Can you bring more flow in there? You know, can you flow more? And asking our credit card statements and debts. to do something, disappear or dwindle or something. But I mean, we don't ask those questions, you know, and that's what I keep getting today. It's like, okay, wow, I wonder what my life will be like now that I'm going to be asking more questions. You know, there's like a sense of freedom, you know.
Yes.
And
it just creates so much more.
Yeah, and like what else is possible there that I haven't even considered? And you know, just just knowing that there's a different possibility, that there's a possibility for more. You know, it's just bringing so much lightness and you know, it's like I can breathe better. You know, just knowing that there's more that's possible for me than I thought before.
Oh, that's so awesome! Yay!
Yeah. Yay! Yeah. So don't you just love all my wonderful examples I bring to the show? Yeah, then most of those are my own personal, just so everybody knows. Most of them are my own. So I will definitely be doing the, you know, looking at how much money I'm bringing in, how much money is going out, how much I require every month, you know, to see how for my living every month, and then asking for that amount and more, you know, because there's so many different things I want to do in the future. So asking for that amount and more for all the other things I want to do. You know, I think that alone, Glenyce, was a big one for me today.
Awesome, awesome. Because yeah, there's so much more that's possible. So much more if you're really willing to ask and really willing to receive and willing to play. And like you said it best, Shefali, with no point of view, with no, it has to be this way, it has to look like that. Just be in the place of, wow, I wonder what else is possible here.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, no judgments against my parents, but yes, you know, even being aware that I'm being like my dad or I'm trying not to be like my mom, just that awareness itself, too, makes me laugh, you know? It's like, oh, that's so funny.
Yes, and that's what you got to do. You got to laugh about it.
Yeah, there's no judgment. It is what it is. But if we can laugh about it, it just makes it so much lighter. And then once we have that awareness, then we can change something, you know? It's like, interesting. This is what I've done all my life. I wonder if I look at it this differently, what can possibly, you know, what can change now, you know? It's like,
Exactly.
And there's no question, like there's no why or God, why did I do that? But it just is. It's just like, yeah, this will be interesting now that I know. Now that I'm aware of what I've been thinking and how I've been behaving and, you know, how I've been, you know, dealing with my money or not dealing with it, you know, just all of that. It's all about awareness and then asking questions so that we can make a different choice and, you know, for our future.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So for the listeners, again, the special offer that Glenyce is so graciously offering to our listeners at such a reduced rate is at awakentohappinessnow.com/Glenyce4. So that's awakentohappinessnow.com/Glenyce4. So take a look at it, and I like how you combine different things. You know, there's live calls, and then there's the downloads. You know, so people can start working or using some of the tools right away. And then, you know, you're going to be doing all those live calls as well. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was just so much fun to make because I always ask the show what it would like to be on and what package is going to create the most, and it was really, really fun.
Fantastic. Thank you. So do you have any last words of wisdom for us, Glenyce?
Yeah, I do. I do. So what physical actualization of a magical life beyond anything you've never even imagined possible are you now capable of generating, creating, and actualizing? Anything that doesn't allow that to show up as if by magic, will you guys destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah. Cool. And the reason I use never imagine possible on these questions and some of these clearings is that a lot of times we've decided what is possible, which is such a limit to actually what is possible. So when we say never imagine possible, it takes us out of our mind and into that space of infinite possibility.
Ah, love it. That's very good. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Smart woman. Yes, because our mind can play tricks on us in that way, right?
Yes, too true.
Wonderful. Thank you, Glenyce. This has been fantastic.
So
Glenyce has been, busy talking up a storm all day today, so I didn't want to tax her too much. Busy woman. So thank you, Glenyce. Thank you, everyone, for being on the call and co-creating with us. Your contribution, your energy with us, really makes these calls so wonderful, and I really, really appreciate it, and I'm so grateful for that. And this has been an interesting week, and I thank you all for your love. I think I mentioned yesterday, next week I'll be in Sedona, so there won't be live calls, but you'll be getting emails about other wonderful things that are happening. But thank you so much, everyone, and I'm so excited about going to Sedona. I think it's going to be fantastic. It's like, wow. How did I get so lucky? Wow, so I'm so excited. So have a great week, everyone. Then we'll be back the week after with live calls. So thank you all. Thank you, Glenyce. And we will see you all again soon. And continue to live a life filled with joy, peace, love, abundance, and happiness.